that. But at the same time, you want to be controlling at the Bristleback. You want to be worried about the Undying too. These guys, if you can limit their still really surprising how much farm Eternal Envy's managed to pick up. They actually dropped the Tombstone and the Decay into a Cold Snap. Wow, that's a lot more damage than Envy was really expecting, and it's enough to get the first blood. Artstyle's going to open up on the captain of Cloud9. They turn. Avos stunned up. The Eclipse is also going to go off here from Envy, and Avos getting beaten down. The Relocate pulling it back, and the Sorrow keeps him alive. Artstyle drops the Tombstone. They need to get rid of this nice and quickly. And they're able to do so, but another EMP tornado from Dendi. This control factor is just so big. NoTel wants to get out, but the cold snap from Dendi cancelling the TP away, but at the same time, it's again Artstyle, the casualty of war, having his third depth now here on the bottom lane. And Cloud9 resummoning of Familiars, some heavy damage coming in, and a big sonic wave from Funnik, catching out most of Cloud9. There's still a lot of return with the soul rip damage. Avos is alive too. That physical DPS trying to find Visage and pick him off, and he's got him down too. That's another kill coming the way of Na'Vi. They chase after Fader, and Cloud9, they really try to force the issue, get a pre-15-minute GG call, and they may have just paid the heftiest price they could have. At the same time, the Visage is getting a triple kill with just Familiars. So, it's not a completely clean fight. Not to mention your Chen creeps and everything they bring to the party. But the top tier 1 tower is going to be taken out by the Visage. So, no surprise, Misery's being everywhere. But on the bottom lane, Fader, well, it looks like he's in trouble. But now he's going to go Invis. Sentry Ward's down, so that Invis isn't helping him off. And Envy just lets off the Eclipse. A lot of it's being tanked up by Avos, and they relocate back out to safety. Artstyle going to drop the Tombstone, which means now Misery's going to die, and Na'Vi getting back-to-back finds here. They do have Dendi with an EMP in 5 seconds time. He's also got Invoke now available as well. NoTel trapped in the tree line. Artstyle in that ultimate form is a triple kill, in fact, for Avos, who was the man just letting off all the sprays. Bone7 is still alive in here, and I think he's looking for a pick-off on Dendi, and he's going to get it. The Troll Trap going to work here from NoTel, but Artstyle's not giving up the fight. Avos getting rid of the Outforce, but now Na'Vi, 5-man smoke up, heading themselves into the Radiant jungle. We've got one Mud Golem trying to scout out who's where, and the rest of Chen army's there too, and well, Tombstone down. Dendi did find the EMP Tornado, is over on Big Daddy, and he's got enough melee off the hand of God, but now he's completely bone dry, and they're chasing after Misery. A new set of Familiars do come up into the air, and they're going to drop down pretty quickly. And this will buy some time. In fact, getting 4-man stuns, and he's still inside the tree lines. And the breathe fire hurting hard. Sonic Wave as well. Fader, they got enough to survive. The big double stun as well coming in from Bone7. Na'Vi get controlled, and they're basically being, well, I don't want to say choke pointed out in the armor to burn through Roshan. It's not as though they have the wonderful perk up of having something like a Medallion of Courage as well. But you managed to find over 200 physical damage on the Bristleback just because of the Warpath. Also to note too, I don't know if this is on purpose, but Avos didn't put the second point up into Warpath. He's level 11 and only got 1 point up in Warpath.
I mean, you go from 5 to 6 stacks, a bit more damage. I'm not sure why he chooses to do that.
Sorry, I'm watching Bone7 just be such a dick to Artstyle. And now, well, the EMP's going to burn him up. SoNNeikO does manage to relocate himself in, trying to give a little bit more help here. The Spirit's not enough damage to kill up Bone7, but Avos, as well as Dendi, they move forward. Sonic Wave in from Funnik, still having killed up Bone7. Was the Meg to do some work, and Avos, Crimson Guard and one charge just keep his life up quite high.
Now with the change in Cloak as well, 5% more magic resistance is quite some. It's not that little. And it will definitely help Artstyle to survive the Nyx here.
Fader, SoNNeikO starts on him. They're going to trigger the dust. There's no way for Fader. Well, he can't go Invis again anyway, but Avos might be in a little bit more trouble. Here comes that Tombstone. Artstyle still the front lines. Decay taking as much of the life away from Cloud9 as possible. Avos lives for such a long period of time as Dendi's EMP burns out Cloud9. So there's nothing available. And then the Sonic Wave in with the Scream. They're so low, but they're not going to die. Scream in 2 seconds time. There's the Aegis Immortal on the back of the Queen of Pain. Have to be careful about. Big Day's got 25 HP, but Fader already got himself a triple kill. The blink away by Funnik. He's out to safety.
Be ready. Like when you choose to get that fight going, you see us in. They might have expected that Fata would be, you know, maybe having +1, but it was the entire team there, of course. But then I don't know. I felt like it was just too much of a rush in, where no one was exactly ready. And if they would have taken the fight from start on with Funnik, Funnik would have killed 2-3 people there.
Oh, they're coming down from bottom lane. The relocate in from SoNNeikO, trying to force Bone7 as far away as possible. Misery, okay, with the familiar damage, SoNNeikO's going to drop. A Vorce might be isolated. The deafening blast arrives from Dendi at the right time, stunning up Misery, but he's got 3 familiars here, perfectly micro to control the Vorce and Dendi, but the Tornado is still too powerful. Reaches down to him, and Misery with the Cold Snap, he'll get 1 Soul Assumption damage out, but now he's going to be careful about losing his familiars. The Crimson Gun helping to protect Dendi, and they're able to pick off one of these familiars. More control the next fight. He's finished that Scythe Device now on the Invoker, and so they got good control from him.
And they could be too late. One thing I have to mention here again, before in the top lane you could see the Silver Edge play coming.
Roshan has fallen to the down.
Bone7, careful! The Hex, the Undying Tombstone. Okay, this almost feels like that TP from Artstyle on the bottom lane. A team is doing Roshan.
But sentry wards around Roche area, especially if you know that they're going for it, they have a ward when they saw them walking into it. There was no smoke, no nothing. They saw how they walked in, so a questionable play here.
They're
top
relocating
lane.
top lane. Yep, coming in after Misery. If they can get rid of this Visage with Nyx Assassin down, it will come at a cost, however, as once again Artstyle being left behind. That's the Wisp. Is he actually going to bring back the Bristleback as well? Yeah, he does. A Vorce will be here. And look at SoNNeikO dying to the Eclipse of Eternal Envy. And there is more support here from Queen of Pain, but then again is there. He has to blink himself away, and a Vorce will just get nuked down. The Aegis Immortal will trigger. Dendi is on his way, but doesn't have Tornado skilled up at the moment. In fact, Fader is sitting there and waiting for him, going to isolate him with the Familiar, so Dendi's going to drop too. And the Vorce BKB's TP's out, so he had the ability to escape, yet Dendi still tried to...
At the same time, you really can't underestimate Silver Edge plus Luna damage. The ultimate on one target is just too high.
There's your fortification now coming up from Na'Vi. The Tombstone as well as the Decay being used on Fader. He's going to be careful. He's dropping pretty quickly up against the Vorce. SoNNeikO coming in too. Artstyle, however, he just dies so quickly. With the Visage Familiars focusing him down. The Vorce still trying to get back the front lines, but Fader taking away this passive. Watch a Vorce die. Funnik comes back in for another scream, but there's nothing more to scream about. They're just dying left, right, and center. SoNNeikO is the only sole survivor for Na'Vi, even though Dendi will respawn now in 1 second. They will lose their mid-ranks, and they're going to lose SoNNeikO. He's going to relocate back onto the spot. Fader was waiting for him. So the Wisp will drop, and the beautiful thing about Glaze, once you've gone through the towers, the buildings are just so easy to mop up after that. That's exactly what they're doing. In fact, the Glaze are bouncing so far up, they're helping Bone7 try and kill off Dendi. But Dendi's not going to let Bone7 get out of here. In fact, he's in range now of the top tier 3 tower, and that's not damage. Bone7 will drop. Eternal Envy also coming in a little bit too deep. But there's no one else from Na'Vi apart from Dendi to try and slow this down. In fact,
crazy amount of damage out of that hero, and now with the Familiars, it's very, very hard.
Wow, that's an efficient kill.
HP. It's ridiculous.
It's also the beauty of something like a Vendetta too. Like, you're always going to have your ultimate, even twice during team fights.
Oh, not to mention actually the way Vendetta works. Initiation.
Here they come. Yep, stun. Look at Artstyle. He just explodes so quickly. They try and keep him up. There's buyback time, but there's only Bristleback who's got it. And Vorce, he's standing his ground up against Envy. At least his Quill Spray's starting to stack up. And Na'Vi, they've done very well to keep as many of these players alive as possible. Dendi is still going to end up dropping. As SoNNeikO, Troll trapped up, they have to get rid of this Wisp. Now Vorce has lost his extra buffer. They've also lost their bottom rags, and I think this is almost the time to call. In fact, there it is from Artstyle. He's had enough of getting killed. It was already 11 deaths for him in just this first game of the series. But Cloud9, they kind of felt like they were trying to force the issue a little bit too early, but they still win the game at the end of the day. And that's what counts.
No, definitely, I think they forced it a bit too early. Overall, good performance by them. I would say they still had the game from the start to the mid-game. There was one upsetting moment when they got the Roche and they lost 2 team fights in a row, but still, as soon as they grew